It's time to pop the top off with Pub Talk today. We have a little bit shorter show, but with some actual live college football talk. More NFL training camp talk as well. Some more beer tasting for you guys. And of course, hops of the week to finish us off. But before we begin, Pub Talk is brought to you by Route 11 Chips. Football season is right around the corner. Saturdays and Sundays are all about sitting on the couch, watching football, and eating. So you're going to need some chips, and Route 11 is at the ready. Since 1992, Route 11 has been chipping away to give its consumers a great and tasty product. So make sure you check out your local Martin's, Food Lion, and Giant to pick up a bag today. Okay, lights, beer, action. Top has been popped off. Welcome back to Pub Talk. Disclaimer, the reason we were not here last week, not a lot of shit happened. Not a lot of stuff went down, and honestly, it wasn't that worth talking about, honestly, because now...
And we don't do politics.
And we don't do politics because I could have had a 3-hour show with what happened last week. But this week, at least
I would have taken a knee on that episode.
Shut up.
Probably would have rioted on that episode as well. Would have walked out.
Not in the bar. Not in the bar.
Yep, nope. So, as I said, now we're combining basically last week and this week to make for a good show. But hey, college football actually happened last night.
Yeah.
I know, shocking, right? You
Yeah.
know, fans in the stands. The Governors took it home. Austin Peay State pulling it out.
No,
they did not.
Central Arkansas beat them.
Oh my God, Central Arkansas! They have the worst.
24-17.
No joke.
24-17. Look that shit up.
Central Arkansas has the worst football field in the entire country. You can look up their football field. It is ugly. I will pull up a picture right now of their football field.
I thought Austin Peay initially looked really good, but I thought Central Arkansas won. I didn't watch that game. I was busy watching high school football, which opened this weekend. So type fast.
Trust me, I have the ugliest football field coming up right here.
Yikes!
Yep.
Oh my!
Oh, the purple and
goodness.
silver.
Like I said,
Oh
this is
my
the
God.
ugly. I wasn't joking.
I had
not
no
joking.
idea.
That was
They must have been playing at Austin Peay because that looks horrific.
because they peed all over the field there, but it wasn't there. But like I said, it was. Because a couple years ago when they they came back.
Come from behind
I
wins
was
24-17.
all right. Then I was awake for the Governors and did not look up because I'm fucking stupid.
I like their label. Not their label. Their mascot. I love their the little icon that they put on stuff, like on their helmets and stuff. The little Governors thing. I like that.
Yeah, and I like the chain. It has like the turnover chain. They have the cane and the top hat and everything. That's fucking cool. That's the way to get at least some spirit.
I would
of college
say early
football.
because I was flipping back and forth. I was watching the commercial breaks on Friday and Saturday. I was watching 7 high school football games on ESPN, and I don't even watch ESPN anymore. 9 different states, and of the 7 games, 4 involved returning state champions. How cool is that shit, man? The big game was the one I watched most of, and then I took a break, and I can't remember why. Had something to do with your mother.
Of course it does. The women interrupting the sports.
Yeah, I forget what we were doing, and then she goes, "Why don't you want to watch the game?" And I go, "I did, but
it's FCS. Like even coming from an FCS school like me, if there's something
at
else
that point,
on it.
like the high school football was probably more enjoyable.
It was, and then I watched
it's-
that Saint Xavier game from Saint Xavier
Yeah.
or Xavier. I call him Xavier, but they pronounce it as Xavier. Saint Xavier from Ohio, and playing Brownsburg from Indiana, and the come from behind win by the Brownsburg freaking team was nothing short of amazing. St. Xavier freaking pretty much dominated the entire game. And then late in the game, they allowed a team that they should have throttled back into it. And it's one of those things, and we talked about it because we had a group chat going, coaches group chat going, and it's just like this. When you're ahead and you're into that third quarter, what are you supposed to do with the football?
You're
What are we
supposed to run the football.
You got to run freaking try and establish your power run game and move.
You
the
hear that,
football.
Atlanta Falcons? You
wanna-
just had to run the damn ball.
You want to establish power run game, and St. Xavier didn't do that. They just
Kyle
didn't do
Shanahan
that.
just swung for the fences and wanted to go with
And,
the big
and it
plays.
came back to bite them on the ass, and I think the better team lost. I think the better team really lost. The better team in terms of athletes. The team that won, Brownsburg, the team that won, was the better team emotionally. They didn't let those negative things that took place earlier in the game affect them, and they just freaking handled their freaking business. It was cool as shit. It was great. It was typical high school football, and you just sat there. And your mother and I were watching it and stuff like that. She goes, we need to watch. We just keep watching this one. And I was like, I kept trying to tell you, but we were flipping back and forth between a movie and that, but.
But it gets your juices flowing,
Yeah.
man. Like you miss
It
just the
does.
game of football, regardless of it's pro, college, or high school. It's just something that's just a part of, at least in our household, it's just a part of our culture. That's just something that we love. That's something that we love to see. We
there
love
were
to talk
fans in
about
the
it.
stands.
Yeah, and you know we come from
And they had masks on. Woo! There you go.
but coming from a state that said, you know, we're not going to play football during the fall, that sucks. Seeing another state do it and be successful with it against all odds, it gets your juices flowing, and you just can't wait to see more of it. And you want to see them be successful. That way we all, as a country, can get back to going
the
normal.
whole Geico high school sports thing. I don't like to say their name anymore because, and we said long ago we wouldn't bring politics into sports. Well, that's what ESPN is doing, and so I don't like that. I just want to watch the kids play. And when I say kids, I'm talking about college and I'm talking about high school. I just want to see them play. I don't want to hear any other stuff. I just want you to freaking call
Can
the
you
game.
just commentate the
Right,
game?
commentate
Can you give
the
me
game.
color
Commentate the
commentary?
game. Don't
because
give me a message. I don't need a message. I want to just watch the game for
I
what
want
it
the
is.
message to be the formation and the
Right.
amount of yards that they just fucking gained on that play.
because
And I think, and then before you go, Patrick, that's one of the cool things that I saw from those high school announcers. You know, they're trying to piece in the kids and trying to make it homey. You know, they're trying to make it like they're not favorites. They're not trying to pull, and they did a fantastic job. And for that, I can thank the people that ESPN and Geico put together to have those announcers. I would have so much fun doing that. I would have so much fun, but. I can't bring myself to watch the show anymore. I can't bring myself to do any of that because I just want to watch football. I want to see athletes do what they're supposed to do and watch them excel, watch them have enjoyment. I want them to. I want to experience the frustrations.
You hear that,
and the
NCAA?
excitement. I want to hear.
I guess fucking not, man.
I want to
guess
see that
not.
and hear that on a regular basis. I don't need a message. If I wanted a fucking message, I would read something and develop my own message. I don't need to be taught something by a sportscaster. I just don't need that.
yeah, and what I was
So they
about to
can
say
eat
is,
shit
yeah,
for that
it's very
reason.
sweet and simple. When you're scrolling through, you know, the TV menu, it's pretty simple on what it says. It says high school football. It gives you a little brief, who's playing who against college football, who against who, little brief, NFL football, brief. It's like that's what we came to watch. I didn't come to watch a protest.
Right. I didn't come to watch.
I
any of
came
that
to
stuff.
watch. Okay, if you're a basketball fan, I came to watch LeBron James dunk on somebody. I
Yeah.
came to watch.
and there's nothing wrong
Yeah,
with that.
I came to watch Alabama versus Georgia. I came
Right.
to watch
Right.
whoever
Which, by
in
the
high
way,
school. It's like
Alabama.
that's all that's all simple people want is just play the game.
Yep.
We'll worry about that stuff. But in this 3 to 4 hour block of time, let's watch sports. Let's be together. Let's go through that emotional roller coaster that is sports and why we love it so much. And let's
And
move
that's
on. And we'll
supposed to
move
be.
it
And the
on
way-
to another
and the way
day.
it was
We'll
supposed to
move it
be.
on to another
Speaking
day.
of Alabama, you guys might be smart at football, but it seems like when it's outside of football, you guys are fucking this whole thing up for the college football world right now. I swear I saw 500 plus positive tests for coronavirus down there at Alabama.
And I think that's going to happen. I really do. I think
it's going to happen. But like once
But
again, you're at the pinnacle.
But for all intents and purposes, we're talking about tests, and some of these tests aren't accurate. And we saw it last week. We talked about this, where 77 NFL players tested positive. 77 of them tested positive. They tested two days later on Sunday, and all 77, all of them came back negative. So when we say that 500 people are this or 200 did this, well, let's take that with a grain of salt, and let's not press the freaking panic button just yet. There are people that are experiencing this virus, and when we say experiencing it, it's not on the same level of the death and dismay and torture that's going on. So let's freaking take a chill pill, and that's the height of what I will say.
And we're talking about
this
high.
shit.
I mean, we're talking about world-class athletes here.
Yeah. Yeah,
like they're freaks of nature, physically. Like, unless something goes horrifically wrong, they're gonna overcome it. They're gonna be okay. That doesn't push away the fact that people are truly suffering.
Don't put a message out there that people are gonna argue with. So let's just. It was awesome to see football. It was just fun to watch football. And flipping back and forth and
it made
watching
you feel
little
normal.
Austin P in freaking Central Arkansas was pretty cool.
It made you feel normal again.
Yeah,
It's like
I was enjoying.
How dare you say that?
It's like COVID. It's like I'm not
we
worried
have
about
to
COVID.
live with it. Get ready to live with
Are you
this
trying
for-
to put a message out there? Don't put that.
Are you
message.
trying to put a happy message on this show? We're not about that.
But it made
I
you
don't
Like
it's like
CNN. We don't.
it's like
want you to
okay,
be
they got
happy.
masks on, but it's like they're enjoying the game of football. The crowd's getting excited.
Yeah.
The kids are excited. They want to play football.
And to be honest,
know?
I'm watching, and the ghoul in me is watching all of the people in the stands, on the coaches and the sidelines, and they did a pretty decent job for the most part. They did a pretty decent job of spacing the kids out, and I saw a lot of members of the staff, training coaches, but by and large, the head coaches, they weren't wearing masks. they
they're talking
They
too
had
much.
chin straps on because they were all around their chin. But
Yeah, it's because once again, it's like why isn't he wearing a mask? Because if he makes that signal, the quarterback is going to be pissed because he can't understand what the coach is saying unless he has it, inside of his mask, and the quarterback's hearing him
you
breathing.
think about that. You
But
think
there's
about that.
such a-
The communications, the helmet communications
Exactly.
is such that you're not allowed to have that in high school and college. Now might be the time to do it.
Because nobody, I understand that, but
Right?
trust me, nobody wants to go back to the amount of signals that I see that you guys put out there when you can just have a headset and
We
read
do a
off
lot
of
of
a play
signals.
sheet.
We do a lot.
Had
of
to
signals.
learn it. Have to do it.
I understand that, but when you have
like-
like an entire, when the playbook is 10 times bigger than what you get at a
Oh,
high school
absolutely.
level,
Oh, yeah,
you're
yeah.
telling me that
Not
those,
our playbook. There's no college that's got a bigger playbook than we do.
Okay, that's
Holy shit.
absolutely true, and you have to remember every single.
Our offense is college based, and it's concept based, and it's hand signals.
Okay,
and it's
let's say
formations.
Michigan then. You think that like the assistants are going to be like, no, I don't want to fucking call that because there's
But that's what they
17
do.
words and none of them have a
Well,
vowel,
no.
and I don't want to say
Okay,
that.
well, but at the FBS level, everything's signaled. Everything.
A lot of it. A lot of
Now
it.
at the
Especially
NFL,
a lot of the
NFL, no.
Yeah, but see, in the NFL, they all have the same offenses. To me, they all have
Yeah,
the
they
same.
do.
It's just the
offenses.
terminology that's
Yeah,
different.
they all do similar.
With the
things.
exception of the Ravens because they have Jackson. That's about it.
right? And why?
Run fast.
Right? Why would you do what you do
Whole
with them?
section named Lamar. Get to run.
Go.
Yeah, when you take a look at the quarterbacks, you take Kyler Murray, freaking Lamar Jackson, Seattle's Russell Wilson. Yeah, it's going to be a little different. And then you throw in Kansas City. It's like run the play. Well, what was the play? I said run the damn play.
I said
Snap
Hail
the ball-
Mary on first down right now.
Snap the ball to 15. Let him fucking get it done, and he does.
And if Damon throws a hissy fit, he's fired.
And he does, and he throws a freaking.
All right, so
does a great job.
One final point left on college. Protests from parents right now. A lot of
Yeah.
stuff is getting out of hand.
It's
out of
leaking
hand.
down into high school levels. We've seen a lot of shit going on in PA
The
where
Big
parents
Ten
are.
is like,
But that's
it's on
the big
fire
one.
right
That's
now.
the big one.
Because parents are like, the kids want to play.
Is it a
in the-
dumpster fire in the sense that the Big Ten and I'm not going to say their names or anything like that, but is it the head of the Big Ten was a rush to judgment that caused all this uproar? Do you think they could have taken a little bit more time and said, "Hey, we're going to delay it. We're going to delay it"?
Oh, you mean like the other conferences and said, yeah, we're going to delay it a little bit and then
Right.
we'll play it at the end of September.
Right,
Unlike
right.
the Big Ten, who was like jumping the gun right
Well,
now.
I think the number one big thing is that you got everything ready to go. We got a schedule with inside the Big Ten. We're gonna play. We're gonna do this, and then you just went, we're gonna shut it all down.
Shut it all down.
So, with 3 weeks to go before camp, I mean, teams just started a week or two ago, and you're gonna just shut it all down against kids that are just like, I want to play. I want to
Yeah.
play.
And-
Yeah.
This is my chance to go to the next level, and you're just gonna shut it
and
all
all the
down. Like
parents
that
are like,
rubs people the
what
wrong
are the
way.
kids supposed to do? They're probably going to get sick now just from not being at practice and not being around the football
Exactly.
facility.
They're at more risk.
I was watching a game today on ESPN, high school game. It was I don't remember who it was, but they were playing today, and I just happened to, because we went to that brewery. That's right, folks. We left watching football and went to a brewery because beer's more important today. Anyway, we were watching the two teams, and one of the players was the highly touted kid. He's going to Ohio State. He's going to Ohio State, full scholarship athlete, big freaking kid, plays defensive line. He's the number 1 rated defensive lineman in the nation. He forgoes his senior year of high school football. He said, I'm not going to play. I'm not going to play because I don't want to risk what could happen in the fall, and he's going to leave high school early in the spring to go to Ohio State. It's the Big Ten. What are the chances they're even going to have high school football or college football in the spring? What are the chances?
I promise you, on my grave, they are not going to have a spring season because it will be chaos.
Coaches
I
wouldn't like
promise
it.
you.
Coaches wouldn't like it.
This
Yeah.
entire spring season will be absolute chaos because you have to have the other fall sports included because you have to put them in there.
Yeah, but do you have to actually play a schedule? Can you prep like you normally would in a spring? And maybe rather than playing an inter-squad spring game, maybe you extend the spring another week and you play 2 games, but you play within the conference. You know what I mean? Like against another conference opponent. Let's just say Ohio plays Michigan in a spring game. Would that be suitable to a lot of people?
No, I
Don't
don't.
you think?
I don't think
No,
so.
I don't because
because
again,
again, there's too many ifs, ands, or buts. Now the Big Ten made a strong decision to not play, and
know.
regardless of whether you think it's right or wrong, and a lot of parents believe that it's wrong because people want to play.
Right. Well, that's why.
But if you want to get back to normal after this is starting to settle down,
well, that's why
if
I
you
brought
play
it
in the
up.
spring, then the fall becomes a little ticky tacky
Right.
because
That's why I'm
athletes got to
saying.
recover.
That's why I'm saying let's just limit it to a couple of. I don't want to call them inter squad, but I want to. Why not have?
But who's going to want to risk their athletes doing that?
Because you do it anyway. You play a spring game. You bring fans into the stadium. You freaking get everybody jacked up, and all freaking 80 players or whatever are involved in a spring game. You play this big game.
So is
in
it
the
like a
spring.
college preseason game?
Well, I'm just saying. Well, if you're going to play it in the spring, why not have two games? Just play 2 so that your kids are getting where they're supposed to be. But here's what I'm getting at: is here's this kid from this school. I think it was Arkansas. I want to say it was Arkansas, but Pickerington. There was Pickerington Central and North Pickerington. I think they were Arkansas schools. You can't quote me on that. But anyway, they're playing, and this kid, who's a 21 graduate, is going to Ohio State early out of high school because he wants to be a part of the program. Now here he is, a true freshman coming in the spring, and might get a couple of reps and see how he does. Because when you think about this, the NCAA, the NCAA is going to extend scholarships to those seniors that are losing out in the fall.
and then that's going to be chaos.
And then that's going to cross. They're talking maybe 2025, 2024, 25, maybe 26 before all this shit washes out because you're extending scholarships to guys that are already there.
Like a COVID scholarship kind of deal. Like it's a special
But what does that
circumstance.
do for the numbers on your team? And those guys that are supposed now, I certainly think that there's going to be a certain number of guys that are just going, hey, I'm not going to make the NFL. I'm not going on. I think I'm going to be done this season. I think I'm just going to take I'll finish out my career as it is, maybe be involved in the spring. But after that, I'm going to graduate, and I'm just going to go on and do my thing in finance
I was
or
gonna say,
whatever.
if there's no reason for it's like, yeah, why not spend another $40,000 to come back and
Well, those guys won't, because you're talking about scholarship athletes.
But what about the other guys who don't?
I know,
Who
that's
want
what
to
I'm
come-
saying. I think you're right, CJ. There's a certain number of kids who are not high profile guys who are not going on to the NFL, and they're just going to go, hey, it sucks I lost my senior year, but I got to go to work. I got to pay off my.
That's kind of the thought process that I've had. It's like, listen, it sucks. No, it's not something that we can control. COVID sucks.
Sorry, I'm intrigued by the movie.
Oh man, that's a great movie though. I don't
would
know
say
why
we
we
got
never talked
Hellboy
about
on.
it. I've watched Hellboy a couple of times. It's a great flick, man. It's
Um,
definitely good. Ron Perlman is freaking awesome as Hellboy.
But
there he
going
is.
back to your topic was, it sucks.
He's the son of the devil.
But it's like everything in life. Somebody's going to get screwed out of something.
I think
and
you're
there's nothing that you can control about it, and it sucks, and we wish that it didn't happen, but it did. But the train of life keeps trucking, and we got to move on, and we wish that it didn't happen, but you know what? That's just how life is, and we can't control everything. So I feel like if we want to minimize the confusion of later years, then we're just going to have to take we're going to have to just take the L on this one and deal with the fact that this year is a complete CF. And
Please just do that. Don't.
like the
don't do
year is
all
a
this
complete
ex-
CF. Stop trying to make things complicated
It's like,
to
we'll just push it back
accommodate
to the
every.
spring. No, you're
No,
not
because
gonna be
kids aren't
able
gonna.
to.
Because half your kids are gonna want to play. Half the kids are. Stop accommodating to make everybody happy. Just stop. Take
Once
the
again, they're
L.
trying-
This sucks. Everything sucks right now. Get over it, no matter what, and move on.
They never want to be the bad guy, unfortunately.
Exactly. Nobody wants to be the bad guy, and I totally understand that. But let's move on. This all sucks. If we have to take the L on this football year because things don't work, then that's just what we're going to have to do. And that's coming from football guys. We grew up on this sport, and we love it. But we understand that this sucks. We got to move on, and if we got to take the L, we got to take the L.
I know. All right, let's
Leinenkugel.
move on. All right.
Yeah, and I'm not a grapefruit guy, but this grapefruit
Line and
candy-
Toodle's good.
The
Line and
grapefruit
Toodle's good.
candy's not bad.
Let's move on to NFL. So
right.
training camp, right off the bat, it's almost over. It's almost over. That's crazy.
We're
It's
about
a
ready to
weeks?
get back to some
2
ball.
weeks?
couple more weeks. Yeah.
What, 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
There's
I
going to be
think.
no
13th?
no preseason, correct? Or is there
No,
going to be
no
yeah,
preseason.
no
games.
preseason?
No.
So here in a couple of weeks, it's going to be go time. Not a lot of fans.
Huh? The 10th.
It's September 10th, Thursday night,
Oh,
Kansas
that is-
City
it
and
is.
Houston.
Oh wow.
Kansas City and Houston. And
Well-
Kansas City will have fans.
Yeah,
25%.
they're talking
capacity.
25%.
25% of
Not at
fans.
full capacity.
So do
and
the
that's
math on
okay.
that. Do the math on that, Patrick. I think their stadium is 70,000, and 25% of 70,000 is about 15,
15, yeah.
15,
That's
16,000.
Better than nobody, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Better than nobody.
Dude, I would be so jacked if
Actually,
I was a
it's about-
seat.
It's about 20.
Okay, so
18?
76, 416.
All right, 76 divided by
about
0.25.
20 it's about
or times
20,000.
0.25, whatever.
About 18,000, yeah. So, oh well, who cares? But yeah, training camp is almost over.
yeah,
There's
19,
not
almost
much.
20,000, CJ. You're right.
There's not much.
I was thinking 16. But
Not
it's,
much left to go on except for, well, Earl Thomas might be without a job here, people.
Oh, wow.
Biggest story in the past 2 weeks, Earl Thomas gets released from the Ravens due
After
to an
a
altercation
yeah.
with a teammate. And guess what? Divas aren't working out in the NFL right now, and I'm glad to see it because
No, I saw where Richard Sherman stuck up for him, and let's face it, he can play. The dude can play, but in this day and age, you never know what gets into an NFL player's head. Trying to be that leader, trying to be something more, and with a new team. But let's face it, did he have a great year last year?
no,
No, I wouldn't say it was
the
spectacular.
Ravens' defense was okay.
Yeah, it was solid.
The
I mean,
highlight was the offense. It wasn't
Right.
anything to write home about. And especially now he can go to Tennessee and be the fullback because, he has experience in leading for Derrick Henry. So here's the thing about the Divas, though, is that, it comes it's even the same thing in like professional video games. Like if you're a good player, they'll find a way to keep you on the team. But if you're just an all-around dickhead, just because you're good, your career is not fulfilled. I'm telling you right now, if there is an opportunity to get rid of you for a guy who is wanting to learn every single day and wanting to continue to be the best and be better, they will. I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, that coach is going to be like, fuck that guy over there who thinks that he is the best and wanting to not improve at all, even though he's already won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
I will take the other guy who is a good person wanting to continue to improve his game and is just an all-around fantastic athlete. I guarantee you 9 times out of 10, they choose that guy over the pro who has already had the highlight of his career and is still wanting to play, but acts like he's the big dog in town and doesn't want to answer to anybody.
I've never taken stock in the I'm not replaceable kind of thinking. At some point, you have to be replaced, either by injury or by contract or by performance. You have to be replaced.
Yep.
You just have
Especially
to
in the NFL, performance is a big thing.
Yeah. And I'm always surprised. I'm always surprised.
Oh, no.
And how
Antonio Brown is not one of the performance issue guys. He is an attitude problem guy.
Yeah, he's an off the field.
Yes. That catches up with you.
Yeah.
As I've been saying.
Yeah, and so when I look at I made some notes on this. Let's start with number 1 pick, Joe Burrow. First scrimmage, he goes 6 for 6, 69 yards and a touchdown. When you think about a young guy like this who's got all this pressure on him and in his first scrimmage goes lights out, I hope he can help turn the Bengals program around. I hope he can at least light a fire in somebody because he has all the tools. Even this early in training camp, he's showing veterans, I can play this game. I can play this game. Get me in a system that I can work with and I can digest, and I'll make plays for you. And so when I started looking at notes, the first person I started looking at was Joe Burrow. And I looked at their first scrimmage stats, 6 for 6, 69 yards and a touchdown. That says a lot to me.
Coach, I'm on the opposite side, though, and it's not to deal with the Bengals, but it's the whole Tom Brady thing. It's the whole.
I was going to get to him, but he's down my list.
No. I'm saying it's the whole Tom
list.
Brady thing about like I don't give a damn what you do in practice when the lights are shining and the pads are on and the system is hard on the field. You guess what? You have to change an audible and you have to make the right play. You have to be the Tom Brady. You have to be the guy out there. I don't give a damn what you do in the scrimmage. I don't care about that.
I get that,
I'm not
but when
you're
talking about an organization that's been on its heels like Cincinnati has for the last few years, to have a first round pick come in and perform, that's got to be something. That's
refreshing.
I know Chicago. I know, right? I know.
I'm gonna say Nick Foles went off with the Bears though.
Okay, but he was my last note. Matt Nagy said that. I'm not announcing a starting quarterback until week 1.
Yeah.
So
as he should.
Go ahead and let him battle. I've never been a Trubisky fan. I wanted him to be better, but he's just not panning out there. They go out and get the wily veteran in Nick Foles, and hopefully Nick Foles can freaking have a good season. He knows Matt Nagy, for crying out loud.
Matt Nagy's the whole reason his career was back on
He
track.
dialed him back in, and maybe this is a revitalization. If they can keep Foles healthy, hey, the Bears are pretty damn good defensively. If anybody hasn't realized that, they're pretty good. They're pretty damn good. And for once, they're healthy. So let's see what happens from there.
Yeah.
But I just had to say about Joe Burrow, and then the other number 1 douche was Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield has had a pretty good freaking camp so far.
Why are you bringing up the AFC North right now? I don't want to hear this shit.
I'm just
okay, Steelers fan. It's all about football.
I got freaking.
Now, if you bring up the Dallas Cowboys,
Dallas Cowboys are number 3,
who?
4, 5. They're number 5 on my list. The Dallas Cowboys.
For what?
Make or break?
No, the fact
Or
that
fresh start.
the fact that they have a new coach in Mike McCarthy and them, I think that offensively they need to make a splash. And having Mike McCarthy and who's the freaking Kellen Moore as the freaking
Is he still
OC?
on the staff?
Yeah, hell yeah, he's the freaking OC. I think you got something there. I think they could be a top-rated offense. Damn right they could be. They look like the whole
Easy.
thing is.
It's easier said than done because last year they had the same damn offense with the exception of C.D. Lamb. And they
Well-
also had Kellen Moore as the OC.
I know that, but now
every-
you have a different coach.
I get that, but everyone was raving about them in the first couple of
I know.
games.
Well, I'm just telling you, they're still raving about him in training camp, and they're saying that this might
Because
be
they're America's team.
this might be one of the best overall offenses in the league. Now, defensively, you still have to stop people.
But from a personnel standpoint, coming from an Eagles fan, yeah, they're scary. Yeah, heck
They got
yeah.
great running back,
But
got a
it's
solid
like
tight
old
end.
Mark-
Okay,
No
so-
bite.
okay, but
The-
from an Eagles fan, listen, Dak Prescott, he's no slouch. He's no slouch. Statistically, he's no slouch.
And he's healthy. I mean,
You got
it's not
Zeke
like
Elliott,
Yep, run game.
absolute freight train. You have still one of the. Now they're getting older, but fundamentally they're still one of the best O
Look at
lines
their
in football.
receiving core.
And you got Amari Cooper, Randall Cobb, who's familiar with Mike McCarthy.
Right.
You
And
also,
they just added
You got
CeeDee
Michael
Lamb.
Gallup.
And
who's
they
still
just
good,
added
and they
the
just
rookie-
added CeeDee Lamb.
So they could be one of the
they-
most dynamic offenses. They could be.
They should be one of the most dynamic offenses. Now, will that turn out? Who knows?
You don't know that. I'm just telling you, it's
Who
a
knows?
buzz. We're
But-
talking fucking
exactly,
NFL. Freaking,
exactly.
I know,
So-
but I don't want to talk about Dallas because every single year
But
we do
isn't-
this shit.
but isn't
and
that-
they don't pan out?
But isn't that the beauty of the NFL is what should be and what is?
All right, I got another
Isn't
one
that
for
the
you,
absolute
though.
beauty of
Okay.
it?
Seattle Seahawks.
Should be
Receiver.
fantastic. Should
Receiver, DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
Should be. Should be
He's
fantastic.
drawing comparisons right now to freaking Julio Jones.
Yeah, and
Okay.
this is the,
Well,
okay.
And
We'll
here's
see
a guy.
how it goes.
Hey, he had.
Now
a
he's
pretty,
got a long way to go.
I know that, but he had a pretty solid rookie season.
I know he did because I still get mad at the fact that he was dropped to the second round because of a cone drill. not because he couldn't catch, but because of a cone drill.
Did that have to do with ice cream?
Yes, waffle cone.
But again, it depends. But here's the thing: it comes down to consistency,
I like the sugar cones
and that's
myself.
what. But that comes to the beauty of the NFL is that it's
Haven't
all
had
about
one in
consistency.
years.
That it all comes down to
It does.
consistency, and if DK Metcalf,
But you guys are
'Cause I like
you-
Russell Wilson.
You
I
guys
love
are
him.
talking shit in a segment that we're supposed to be talking news out of training camp, and I'm giving you news, and then you freaking argue my news.
I'm gonna yeah.
No, it was just
'Cause
about
that-
the Cowboys. It wasn't about
Screw the
anything else.
Cowboys.
It
Heck
was
yeah,
just the
screw 'em, screw 'em.
Cowboys.
Let's go back to Baker Mayfield and
Okay.
and the fact that Baker Mayfield is looking pretty solid in freaking training camp, and so some of the stuff with Jarvis Landry, some of that stuff is water under the bridge now. OBJ looks really solid. The connection between freaking Mayfield and freaking OBJ looks pretty good. They could be a potent offense. You talk about that AFC with freaking Cincinnati and Cleveland and Pittsburgh. That could be a tough division. There's some parity there now. When I say
There's talking points.
Yeah,
it's something
I mean-
that's competitive,
And now they have
because
two-
it feels competitive.
Yeah,
It's not
because
just
my whole
something
thing
that-
is, and this comes down to one of my points later on, and I'll skip over some of the other ones. Is Big Ben? Big Ben's freaking. Should we call him Slim Ben? Because
he looks great.
Yeah, he's
looks
trimmed
fantastic.
down. He's 100% healthy. He's all dialed in. He's gotten over his what was he talking about? He had
Porn addiction. Yeah, that was years ago, though, man.
Well, he just came out with it. He was talking about.
I
pain-
know, but he
wasn't
even
he talking about pain pills and shit too?
Yeah, it was addiction with pain medication and porn. Yeah.
Nice, go Big Ben. So my whole thing is a new, improved, healthy, and when I say healthy, we're talking about psychologically healthy and physically healthy Big Ben enough to have them Steelers carry that division.
because they're young, but they're talented.
Yeah,
They
I
got,
don't
because
get-
they almost made the playoffs with somebody that they're not used to at the helm, and they still almost made it because they're
Duck
that
Hodges.
talented because of Duck.
The Duck Hodges.
So they're and as long as you got Mike Tomlin, people hate on him because I don't
He
know
hasn't
why.
done anything since he got in the league.
But
He won early, but since then
he's a consistent winner, which teams
they have won,
wish
but they
would
have not won the way they're supposed to.
Kind of
win. They're
hard
not
to
supposed-
when you have had a absolute
grotesque injuries.
dominant juggernaut in the AFC East that continuously puts it on
Who
every
are they?
single year.
What's
I don't
that
know.
quarterback's name?
Probably the
Everybody
red, white,
calls
Is
them
his
the
name
Cheatriots.
Is he? Isn't
yeah,
he
the red,
greatest
white,
of all
and blue.
time?
That should be America's team.
Greatest of all time,
Patriots,
right?
but,
Thomas
what should
Brady,
we name
Tom
America's
Brady?
team? How about a silver and blue star? Cowboys, smart. What about the red, white, and blue Patriots? We'll just douse
they're
some
cheaters.
They're just some cheaters. Jesus.
Belichick is a cheater. Tomas Abrada.
Okay, so do you have a point on the Patriots though?
I did, but I didn't think it was a huge one because I kind of felt like Cam Newton would eventually rise to the top just simply because he's healthy. You got Jared Stidham and you got freaking Brian Hoyer vying for the job, and then they freaking find a healthy and energetic Cam Newton. Nice job, Bears.
Yeah.
But and now when you look at the film on him, holy cripes, does he look good? Cam Newton looks dangerous.
I would say the only question mark.
With the Patriots?
Yes.
In general? Oh, they
general.
have like freaking 9 guys who opted out of the season. 8 or 9 opted out.
That. I'm just talking about steam-wise. So you have, quote-unquote, Superman. Is he willing to do... Yeah. And that's fantastic. You need that energy because that's what Tom Brady brought.
Right.
Can he do what Brady did? Is he willing to do what Brady did? And Brady succeeded with short passes, taking what he can get, reading defenses, and being consistent.
Well, all I know-
Instead of being Superman
Right.
and trying to make all these plays all the time and,
Right.
and putting his body at risk. And is he willing
Hey,
to be like,
will
I'm
you
getting...
let the co-host say
Well,
some
I'm
words
just saying,
real
well,
quick?
that's where you got Edelman, who's healthy. You got N'Keal Harry coming up in his second season. And you got Mohamed Sanu, who struggled to find his niche in that offense. And now you got a guy like Cam Newton who's so versatile. And then when you look at what Edelman has said about freaking Cam Newton, he sings his praises. He raves about what Cam Newton does with their offense. My big question is defensively.
Yeah.
Now, Belichick is a freaking defensive genius. Everybody knows that. Can he piece together, put a patchwork quilt together to make the Patriots of old a new look? That remains to be seen. But I'll tell you this right now. Cam Newton doesn't have to throw like Brady. He doesn't have to. What he makes up with that is the fact that he doesn't have to play like Superman, but he's certainly built like fucking Superman. And the things that Tom Brady did with his arm, Cam Newton will do with his feet and his arm. So how could you not consider that? How could you not consider him being a huge impact player in New England? And then you got a young freaking dynamic OC, and how could they not wrap your system around freaking Cam Newton? I don't see them. I see them. Do I see them dropping off? Yes, I see them dropping off from the Patriots of old. But do I see them dropping off to where they might lose the division and can't hang? Bullshit. I don't think that's happening. I think they could be just as dangerous as always, just simply because it's a Bill Belichick coach team.
Okay.
Period.
Why don't you go get the beers then, Coach?
Well, wait a minute. I got a couple more.
No, I'm just saying bring them out here
Don't
so
you
we have
dare
them ready.
raise your voice to me.
I'm saying we can have them ready. Then once we get through our final points, they're right here next to us.
I'll get them. Does anybody else have a point to make?
For
I only have 2 more.
So I want to say the Packers, the quarterback situation up there. Everybody's been making headway with what Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love have been talking with each other. I don't know, man. I feel like with a new coach like their head coach right now up there at Green Bay, I think that if Aaron Rodgers doesn't have some good games, I could see some Jordan Love come in. I really could. because Aaron Rodgers has had some struggle games, and they just don't take him out because
Well,
they don't have a competent backup quarterback.
I won't argue you in any way, shape, or form, CJ, because I honestly felt like the Patriots were going to retain Tom Brady and they were going to go after Jordan Love. Because if anybody could fit into an offense like the Patriots or the Packers, it was Jordan Love. I think you're 100% right. And it's not to take anything away from Aaron Rodgers. Am I a huge fan of his? Absolutely not. I'm just not a fan of his. I'm not.
I'm not either. He's a great. I'm not going to knock his talent. No. I'm not going to knock his talent at all. He's a beast. But
Right.
do I like him?
No.
Fuck no.
No, I'm not a big fan of him at all. But and maybe will they take that quantum leap and say, hey Rodgers, we're gonna sit his ass? I honestly don't see that happening. I really don't see that happening. But stranger things have happened in the NFL because at the end of the day, the bottom line is you have to win. You have to win. And if Aaron Rodgers isn't helping you win, guess what? You better find somebody who can help you win. Pastor, you got the glasses there. So,
Yep.
I only got two more.
Yeah, go ahead.
I only got two more. Speaking of Tom Brady and the Bucs offense. Wow.
I know. I've been singing. Pat has a friend over here that is. He's an Eagles fan, just like Pat. But every single time we talk about like the teams up and coming, I always bring up the Buccaneers, and he goes, "Come on, the Buccaneers aren't going to be that good." And I go, "How are they not?"
Right.
Like
the
you
mystery
look at
is in their defense.
But I always bring up the mystery of the defense is this. When you have a defense that last year was actually in the top 5 rushing defenses in the league, you have a defense that was basically put on the field so many times because your quarterback was throwing
the ball
interceptions so
Right,
many
right.
times and
He
turning
did.
the ball over.
He threw
That-
30 of them.
That creates a bad taste in the
Yeah.
defense's mouth
Could
and a
be.
bad
You're
relationship.
right, you're right. I'm
To
not-
pad those stats to be a worse defense. That does make a defense a lot worse. But when you have a competent quarterback that can keep your defense off the field and your defense is like, we got to get this guy the ball because we know he can fucking score, that's what a defense wants because they just want trust. They want some rest.
I was about to say,
they want some
I'm just trying to
time.
imagine. So, like, statistically, let's think about it. 30 turnovers just from the quarterback position, throwing the ball to the other team.
Right.
That's 2 picks. That's 2 turnovers a game. Minimum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Minimum 2 turnovers a game. And we talked about it all the time
Right.
at the high school level. 2 turnovers a game. That ain't no joke.
We talk
So,
about it.
We talked about it all
Let's
the
just
time.
say that the offense had like a 16-play drive on that defense. They got a touchdown on. Guess what? The Bucs offense goes back out there. Next play, they throw an interception. So
Right.
I just played a 16-play defensive drive. I have to fucking go back out there now.
Right, and if I'm playing somebody solid, now I'm down by 2 touchdowns, and your
Yeah.
defense is freaking going,
Exhausted.
what in the hell? Because they just spent an entire
Yeah.
quarter on the field. Yeah, I get all that. My only thing with the Patriots, or not Patriots, but Tom Brady coming from the Patriots to the Bucs, and they got all these weapons. Where does O.J. Howard fit into all this?
What do you
The other
mean?
He's your Swiss Army knife.
I get that, but when you have Gronk in there, and then there are 2 freaking weapon receivers, O.J. Howard, he didn't have a great season. He could be.
I get that though, but
Bruce Arians is not Belichick in the 2 tight end offense. He's not.
But I'm telling you
just
right
saying.
now is that what you saw for Bruce Arians has got to look at the film though of back when they had Hernandez and Gronk and go,
Maybe Gronk
this
helped.
is going to be
Maybe
easy.
Gronk says, "Look, we need to have a 2 tight end offense. We need to have that."
Yeah, exactly.
What the
I know.
hell's going on?
I'm sorry. The dog is being weird. She's just being
I'm just
weird.
saying that where does O.J. Howard fit into this? Because he came out highly touted, huge, highly touted, and he's had possibilities there. But last season was not good.
Yeah, it's because he had a quarterback that threw the ball into the other team the entire time.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I'm trying to put it back on you.
I know, and I'm just saying that that's a big question mark in the Bucs freaking training camp. Is can we get OJ Howard? Can we get him involved as much as we want Gronk to be involved? And if you have him involved and you deny Gronk, how do you keep those guys happy? Not on top of that, you have two phenomenal receivers in Evans, and I always forget the other guy.
Godwin.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and I'm glass half full. Isn't that the beauty of having too many weapons?
No,
It's
it's
like-
not. As an offensive coordinator, you know as well as
I know,
do.
but I have to get everybody the ball. But everybody
know
I get
Luck
the
has
ball
never-
to,
yeah.
but everybody I get the ball
and then
to
you got a decent,
can make a play.
You got a solid running back too, so you add a
But
fifth.
Gronk-
But everybody that can get the ball, everybody that I feel like can get the ball, Godwin, Evans, Gronk, Howard, they all can make plays.
And your running back. I'm just saying, there's only one ball though.
But that's what a leader like Tom Brady has got to get into these guys' heads is like, look, I know you guys want to be superstars, but I know what it fucking takes to win.
Yeah,
I know
and I
what
think
it takes
I think you're right
to
because
win.
if you look at
Exactly.
some of the things that have come out of their camp and read some of the things, especially some of the stuff that Evans has talked about with Tom Brady, and Bruce Arians has said that having Tom Brady in his huddle is like having another coach, an offensive coordinator on the field. And while they may not come to any kind of 100% dialed in agreement, that's where you get better, is where you're like, hey, coach, I want to see it this way. What if we tweak this? Why don't we freaking spill the back out to the same side? Or we set up screen one way and come back and throw the ball in another direction or whatever. You know what I mean? Or we establish a run game. So that was really good. And so those are things I love coming out of training camp. Where
Getting that trust
you have
already.
so many freaking tools. Is too many tools a bad thing?
But once again, I go, Tom has got to tell him, look, you guys want to be
Yeah.
superstars
Tom
and make
and Gronk are
millions
there.
of money? You want to make $1 million of money? Or you want to win 3 rings with me
Okay,
right
so
now?
I got
Three.
okay, so
He's
I
only
got
gonna be
I'm
there
just
for
saying.
2.
Okay,
I'm
so
just
I got
using
one-
it as an example.
I got you.
I'm
But-
going to retire in 2 years. You want to put 2 rings on your fingers? Follow me.
Okay, so here's the last point that I'll say. So you guys, Mike Evans, Howard, you guys have, and Godwin just coming up this last year. So you guys have been superstars already, and you haven't won jack.
I know, and that's what
Yes.
the thing about
And if Tom
Gronk
Brady's
is,
walking into that huddle and he goes, look, you've been good. You guys have been really good. You've put up big numbers, but you guys haven't won jack. If you
Right.
want to win, listen to me.
and that's why Gronk came
Listen
back.
to
He
me.
didn't come back to
We're
make
going
millions
to
of
win
dollars.
if you listen to me. Let's put your egos aside and
All right.
let's go play
My
football
last
and
point
let's go
before
win.
we get to the beers. And I know CJ's going to roll his eyes and he's going to
No,
give
go
me
ahead.
some freaking pissy mood. Kyler Murray.
Why? I
I'm
don't get
thinking
pissed about
I'm
Kyler
thinking
Murray.
Kyler Murray is going to have a breakout season.
Okay.
They got DeAndre Hopkins, you got Larry Legend. You have 2 significant weapons on the field and a whole lot of youth in that team. Whole lot of youth. I'm thinking the Cardinals might make a splash. I think they could.
can agree with that.
I,
Now, he-
I think they might make a splash. If you can keep that little freaking jitterbug upright and help him make plays,
He'll make plays.
he's going to make
a winner.
plays. Dude, he played 16
Dude, he's
games.
a winner.
He played 16 games.
He's a flat out winner. But
He
now,
battled the whole season
But
through.
you have to stop the other team from scoring.
I know that, but
You have to stop the
we're
other
just
team from
talking
scoring.
about shit coming out of training camp, and that was one of the emphases.
I think
is
he-
that Kyler Murray is poised to make a breakout season because of his leadership qualities, and not to mention the fact that he has 2 supremely confident and legendary receivers to throw to in DeAndre Hopkins and freaking Larry Legend, Larry Fitzgerald. Who would you, if you were a second-year quarterback and you had a high-flying freaking Cliff Kingsbury offense, how would you not want somebody like that on the offense? What are you looking up, CJ?
No, I'm just pulling up Podbean. That's
Oh,
all.
all right.
No, but I agree with you. You can score a bunch of points, but Cliff Kingsbury is way too known for scoring a crap ton of points.
Well, that's what
and
you
still
wanna do.
losing.
Well,
You
yeah.
gotta figure out how to stop people. You gotta figure it out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It happens.
But if you do,
yeah,
then
he'll be worth his money.
you'll be worth your money.
All right, CJ,
all right, coach.
break
Here
it
we
up.
go.
Break it up, brother.
Let's
Here
get
it comes.
the let's
Listen
get
to
the
sound.
Yas
Listen
beer.
to that sound. Hear it?
Yas beer.
It's time for the beer section.
Yes. I've been holding the beer. I hope it's not warm.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
Coach.
Oh. I'm not sure we did this one before. I think we did something close to it. This is
sounds
another
familiar.
Devil's Backbone. This is Gold Leaf Golden Lager.
I could have sworn we've done this before.
I don't know if we did it out of the bottle or not.
I think we did it out
No,
of
it was the bottle.
But it was,
Yeah.
Bottle.
I don't know how many weeks ago.
Long time ago.
Well, anyway, Devil's Backbone is out of Lexington, Virginia. I think they were bought by Anheuser-Busch. But this is 4.5% alcohol by volume. It has 21 IBUs. So if it has a little bit of a punch to it, it's for a lager.
That was a
it might
forceful
have-
there.
yeah,
That was a
it
forceful punch
Yes, it
right there.
was. 4.5% alcohol by volume. It's clear. It's very light.
It's golden. Look at that. Yeah.
It's very golden, very clear. And it has a wonderful lager smell to it.
CJ, I think you'll like this one. This one,
I've had it before. I
How do
know
you-
I've had this one.
sass.
Stop with your negativity.
Yep, and it's still as good as the last time.
Yep,
I've had
it's still good.
it. The only difference is that from a bottle. I'm not trying to disrespect cans or anything, but like
Bottles are better.
a
Tell me
cold
wrong.
bottle.
So
is,
much better
like,
than a can.
Completely different from a can.
No, but I feel like this is like a 50-50 between you're getting to an IPA, but it's still a lager.
Like domestic.
It won
But
4
it's still
medals
really
at the
good.
Great American
But it's
Beer
still really
Festival.
good. Go ahead.
Very.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. It's simple.
Like domestic Budweiser in a can.
Sucks.
Ugh.
Sucks.
In a bottle, it's delicious, but in a
Much better?
can, it's not even close.
I can't believe
All right,
how
so this
golden that
this
is.
is so this is a Marzen style German beer. It's called Shiner Oktoberfest. This is made in Shiner, Texas, and I'm trying to find the ABV on it, and I don't see it anywhere on here. I don't see it anywhere. Oh, there it is. 5.7% alcohol by volume. This is Oktoberfest. I love Oktoberfest beers. All those seasonal Oktoberfest beers are just, generally speaking, are wonderful. They're a little dark,
Oh, wow.
little darker.
It's not as dark because we had
No.
Sam Adams
Right.
Oktoberfest earlier in the week, and Sam
Right.
Adams was
We
a little bit more
we-
darker
we
than
went
that.
to play golf, and after we finished, we had Sam Adams Oktoberfest, and it was a great beer. Don't get me wrong.
Ooh, that smells
Yeah,
good.
it has a
doesn't it?
wonderful scent to it. Very good aromas.
But it's got.
Oh man, that's strong.
You think?
You don't like that?
It's a little bit more strong at first, but then it dies down. It goes away really fast.
It doesn't finish bad though.
No, it doesn't
Not at
all.
all. There's not like an aftertaste or anything like
Smell
that.
the coffee.
Man, that pack's full. I mean, that like
Like I said,
punches
it
you.
punch-
I
that's
was about
what
to
I'm
say
saying.
it like
It
punches you.
punches
It's
me.
like flavor right there, and then it finishes crisp.
I think
That is
you're right.
fantastic. That is
That's
awesome.
really
I
good.
told you.
Yeah.
It's strong at first and then
Shiner,
it goes away.
Yeah.
Shiner Oktoberfest. Once again, we get a lot of these beers. These came from Martin's. So if you
Shiner,
get-
Texas.
So if you get into a Martin's or a Giant Foods, check out their can selection. And I can't remember. I can't remember where we were. Your mother and I. We went to a brewery out in the middle of nowhere
Woodstock.
a month ago.
It was somewhere
Remember, I can't even remember the name of it, but one of the IPAs they had, I wasn't sure I was going to like it. And it tasted wonderful, and we got a 12 pack.
Oh
case
yeah,
of them,
yeah.
And I wasn't going to like it, and I've never been a big
And you
fan.
fight it.
I
You-
know, and
you fought in it for a long time.
I became a slight fan of the hazy IPA, and it was just so good. So
It's because the flavor's there. It's just for me, IPAs. It depends on how it finishes. If it finishes smooth, I can dig with an IPA.
yeah,
But if it finishes as
has
rough as
an
it,
aftertaste.
yeah,
to
then
it,
yeah.
then I'm not there.
But that finish is fantastic. CJ said it the best. It punches you with full of flavor, and it's really nice. That is awesome.
All right, so this is Category 5 from Fordham and Dominion Brewing Company. This is a regular beer. In terms of its ABV, it's only 4.2%. It's probably a little less than a Bud Light. But Category 5 Fordham and Dominion is made in Dover, Delaware. And this is something I wasn't going to get it. Your mother made me pick it up. She had my arm behind my back. I was screaming in the store. This is called Key Lime Lager.
Key lime lager.
Key Lime Lager. But don't get me wrong. I like lime in my beer.
Look how light
I really
that is,
do.
though.
Yeah.
It's not as
Very-
clear as
not
as clear as the gold leaf.
No, not nearly as clear, but oh, and you can smell the lime right away. You can smell the lime.
Now here's my first question. Does it finish like a Mexican beer, like a Modelo, or does it finish like a Corona?
Well, you get Corona with lime and all that stuff. You
That's what
smell
I'm
the lime,
thinking,
And it's got
is-
sweet lime aroma to it.
Does it finish like a Mexican beer?
Wow. That's delicious.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That is
that's
pretty
very
good.
delicious.
Shit.
Because it's not overpowering with the lime.
The lime is there.
It's there.
It's definitely
It's there, but it's not like-
You're right, CJ. It's almost sweet.
It's really sweet. Wait, so 4.2?
4.2. It's
Wow.
a very light lager.
It's almost like a lime soda in a way. I don't want to say it's
Yeah.
a lime soda.
It's a road soda, lime road soda. That used to call beers back
I know,
in the
but I'm
day.
just trying to think of like
Road
compared to
sodas.
like a Mexican beer. Is
That's
that
completely
like
different. Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
No, I could see if you had a Corona lime, that's exactly what it would taste like.
But it's more balanced than a Corona with lime. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because like
no.
if you put a lime in a Corona, the top of the beer tastes really, really towards the lime, and then like once you get down to the end, it doesn't.
Yeah, but
This is way more balanced.
Once again, I always talk about the finish of a beer. Having a beer finish properly is the whole. To me, makes the beer. So when we go Gold Leaf, that finish is crisp and clear, and it's just a fine beer. The Shiner Oktoberfest has a little bit of a punch to it, and it doesn't finish bad. But if you'd have told me I would like Key Lime Lager, I'm telling you what. And now this hasn't been.
As the words of Step Brothers, you're fucking high.
This hasn't been in a cooler of ice, though. You know, it's just been sitting in the fridge. You put this fully iced down on a summer day, and I'll tell you what, at 4.2%,
It feels like
you
you're on a
could
beach.
hammer the piss out of those things. I'm telling you.
But it
could
feels
hammer-
like you're on a beach.
Yeah,
Like,
but what's wrong with that?
Oh, I know. It feels
wrong
like
with
a
that?
Mexican beer, which
Dude,
is what
could
do
sit
you want to
on-
do? I want to
could
sit on a
your-
beach in Cancun.
But you
and-
don't have to do that shit. You can sit on your back porch in the summertime and enjoy some freaking
All right, Billy Bob.
Category
just-
5 freaking Key Lime Lager.
Well, put them in order that you want.
I don't know. Shit, we
I'm
had a
putting
home run
Key Lime-
again.
For me, it's Key Lime Lager first. I enjoyed that.
Me
so much.
personally, I like the Shiner Oktoberfest.
Well, you're only a guest, so fuck you.
The live-in guest.
That's just my opinion.
I don't know if we
But
have-
none of them are bad.
I don't
Then
know.
just put them together.
They
and
are
I'll put it in-
fantastic. They are all fantastic.
I'll go. You liked Key Lime. Patrick
Okay.
liked it. We'll put that the Shiner Oktoberfest. I'm telling you what. I can't tell
I
you.
can't tell you.
Last time
We had three
time
good
we
ones?
had 3 beers that we just did not come to grips on, or come to any kind of
and I'll say in
agreement.
the post that the picture doesn't do it justice at how equal they are
No,
together.
they're not.
Every one of those I
You
can
should
drink.
just put them like this guy.
Yeah, it's-
pile
They're
them up.
all fantastic.
Yes,
Absolutely.
very, very good. I did not think.
Wow.
The
Yeah.
Key
Shocker.
Lime Lager. This is
That's the shocker of
this,
the group.
That's why we're putting it number 1. I think the Category 5 freaking Key Lime Lager was a shocker. CJ, we need to get on Fordham and Dominion and tweet out to them that we did did it on the show, and hopefully this son of bitches send us a case of beer with some Category 5, because this is really good.
Fantastic.
Yes. Once again, another Martin's beer found in your Martin's mix of 6 kind of thing. Mix up your 6-pack. Fantastic beer. Do you want some more of that?
No,
CJ?
I'm good. I'm
All
good
right.
for right now.
I'm enjoying the
I'm gonna
Shiner,
finish-
man.
I'm gonna finish the Gold Leaf because, shit, that was That's a nice.
All fantastic.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
well,
Three for three.
While you finish it, let's
very
move
happy.
on to
Yeah,
hops.
let's get on to the hops.
I know you don't have one.
You don't have
I'll
one?
figure it out.
All
I'll
right.
figure it.
Okay.
Let me go
But
last.
CJ, you going first?
No, you can go first because
Wow.
I have two that are like,
Oh, you got two. Well, you go one, I'll do one, and then that'll give
okay.
Patrick some time to think about it.
Here's the thing for mine is that it's a two-parter in a
Uh-oh.
sense, and that's
Two
why
parts.
I want. But okay, so I've said this before. There's a YouTuber. His name is Mr. Ballin, and he is a horror story type of guy. It's not a horror story, but it's strange, mysterious.
Whores as in women or horror?
horror,
As in like
horror,
Jason.
like Jason.
Yes.
And he did some stories where he does storytelling in person. Like he's a former Navy SEAL, and he talks about a lot of things that involve the strange and mysterious. And this episode, I had my eyes widened for the entire time because I was like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me!"
Is it a show or a podcast?
No, it's a YouTube channel. where
Okay,
he
you
just-
did say that.
yeah.
You did say that.
So this episode that he did, he talked about these places that you are not allowed to go as humans. They are places that are locked off from the world because they are a danger to society.
I'm not
Also-
gonna lie, CJ, that shit scares me.
So
I'm a grown-ass
Are you
man.
sure you don't want me to go next?
Dude,
or you?
no, you go. I sleep in the dark. I love sleeping in the
Okay.
dark. But if I hear bad sounds, I just don't want to get out of bed
So
to go find
the
out.
first one that I have is off the coast of Brazil.
Uh-oh.
It is called the
Falkland Islands.
Ilha da Quimera Grande. It is a small
Holy
island.
Spanish.
It's big.
It is an island off the coast of Brazil. It has a lighthouse that is there for the Navy, but this island is dubbed by the military, the Brazilian military, as off limits. You are not allowed to go onto this island. Basically, the story goes as this. There was a fisherman who came to this island on a boat. He sees a palm tree with some coconuts on it, and he goes up to it and he tries to get some coconuts off of the palm tree.
And the
all of
tree
a sudden,
fucking eats
And
him.
all of a sudden, he gets this sharp pain in the side of his body, and he looks down and he's bleeding, like it's really bad. And so he's like, "What the? Did I just get stabbed by a branch or something?" So he goes on, but he's like, "I have to go get this checked out, like right now." And so he goes onto his boat. Within 60 minutes, he's found hours later on his boat, bled out on his boat, and you're like, "What the fuck is this?" The story doesn't end there. Basically, there's this man who has to work the lighthouse, and he brought his family there. He has a wife and a family,
Aquaman.
and they live in this lighthouse, and his job is basically to turn on the lighthouse and make sure that it is operating properly. Well, one day the lighthouse was not on, so the boats out there were telling the Navy, like, the lighthouse is not working. I'm just making sure that you guys are noticing this. And well, when the Navy arrived at the lighthouse, they realized that the entire family was dead. They were completely dead. But all they could find for evidence-wise were these puncture wounds all over the people's bodies. They were just puncture wounds. Turns out that the thing that has been killing these people
Palm trees.
are snakes. And not just any snakes. They are known as the golden lancehead viper. Only indigenous to this island. Nowhere else can you find these snakes anywhere else but
Charles
this island.
Darwin is going, I fucking told you so.
The thing about this viper is that
So they just found it? They just found the viper?
these are indigenous only to this island. And because they are only indigenous to this island, they are growing rapidly on this island. They are everywhere.
So they're
When I
in the
said-
palm trees. They're in
Yes,
the trees.
because their main
Oh.
source of food is birds. So they're in the trees.
Holy shit.
Ilha da Quimera Grande stands for Snake Island. It is dubbed.
Grande means big, though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Big
it does.
Snake Island.
Big
Yeah.
Snake Island.
You know what that? You know what that tells dumb American like me? Stay away.
What happens?
Get away.
And the reason why these are so dangerous is because once you get pricked by them, it basically melts your organs.
So
The
does it, like,
venom
thin your
melts-
blood and-
It melts your organs. I just said
Ew.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
So it melts
Stay
your
away.
organs, and you
Stay
have
away.
within 60 minutes.
So Samuel L. Jackson would
Yeah.
I'm tired of these.
So you have 60 minutes to
Sam
get the
Jackson's
antidote.
getting on a plane without any snakes, and he's going to go down there to fight snakes.
So basically, the island is now just completely covered in those golden lancehead vipers. And the military of Brazil has dubbed this island as, you cannot fucking go here because you will die. You will die if you go here.
Dude, we got a freaking rocket. We'll just launch a freaking Hellfire missile onto that island and
So that's one.
kill all those snakes.
So
all right,
that's
I'm
one.
next.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, because mine's not as good as that.
What, killing snakes on an indigenous
No,
island?
I just think Samuel L. Jackson and snakes on
I
a
told you,
plane.
man, these hops are, I have another one that's good. I'm
All
telling
right,
you.
so this one's I think this is pretty good. So this past it's going for auction in I think I don't remember the exact date. I didn't look it up, but they found it was released by a family member and distant relative to Abraham Lincoln. And they have a lock of his hair and the telegram that was sent saying that the president had been killed. So they have 2 inches of his hair that were wrapped in a blood-soaked freaking telegram. And this telegram and hair, this lock of hair, is being auctioned off. It's going to be auctioned off. It came from his family. The guy's name is Dr. Lyman Beecher Todd, and he was a relative to Mary Todd Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln's wife. And this lock of his hair, with the telegram that has his blood-soaked Abraham Lincoln's blood on it, is going to be auctioned off. Now you say, well, how did this all come about?
Yeah.
Well, when the president was shot and they performed the post-mortem on him, the doctor clipped a section of his hair, wrapped it in a telegram, and sent the telegram so that to alert people that the president had been killed. And he said, "You need to save this. You need to preserve this," kind of thing. And so one of the things is that what they've realized, the historians have realized, that this is so significant because it completely disproves the conspiracy that Edwin M. Stanton had plotted to kill the president. And because there was a lot of people that said that Stanton had prevented he used the military to block all transmissions of telegraphs during the time. And they said that the reason why Edwin M. Stanton had done this was to allow John Wilkes Booth to escape. And so the discovery of this freaking telegraph has a timestamp on it, and the timestamp 100% disproves the conspiracy that Stanton had conspired to kill the president.
So it was just Wilkes Booth then.
Yeah, it was John Wilkes Booth all on his own. And all of the conspiracies are starting to die off because of this timestamp thing. Minimum bid, $10,000. Opening bid is $10,000, and they don't expect it to get beyond $75,000.
As much as history is involved, I mean, $75,000 for hair?
But it's not just anybody's
Oh,
hair.
I know. It's Abraham Lincoln's hair, and it's his blood. It's his DNA. I mean, that's who that man was.
You get the telegraph and his hair. I'm sitting there to think of this, but the timestamp basically proves that the telegraph was actually working at the time of his death, and completely exonerates all of those people that thought that there was a conspiracy by Edward Stanton to who was conspiring with John Wilkes Booth to kill the president. It's all gone. And so when I started to read that, it's not the most exciting freaking hops, but I was like, holy shit, you can actually buy hair that belongs to Abraham
To the
Lincoln.
president of the United States.
Abraham Lincoln, and
Yeah.
one of probably the greatest president in the history of our country.
The strongest.
Well, yeah, definitely.
You know?
Oh, don't say that right now. Just let's move on from that.
Okay.
All right. So as I was
There's
saying,
a little
or
key lime
do you
left.
have one? Because I'm telling you,
I do.
I want to save
But-
mine for last. 'Cause
Okay,
it's good.
yours is definitely probably. Mine was just off the top of my head, and it's pretty simple. Okay, so the hops of the week for mine is I've talked with Coach, and it's pretty simple. So we talked. You guys more than me talk a lot about beer on this show, and so my thought was, okay, what can I relate to beer on this show? I like my beer. So
And it's interesting how the three of us enjoy different kinds of beers and vastly different kinds of beers. You're a Hefeweizen guy.
Oh, love 'em.
CJ's just a regular. I like my freaking fresh Budweiser in the bottle. Nothing over the top.
little flavor, but nothing serious.
CJ's not drinking Bud Lights. He's not drinking Miller Lights. He'll sample the beers here and like a freaking key lime, but you know, I'm all over the map with freaking porters and stouts, and God forbid I start to like freaking IPAs.
But so there's this channel on YouTube, and it's called what's it called? The Try Guys. And so the one guy who's a decent drinker, he rated 15 American beers. We talked about this before, Coach. And the ranks in which he thought the 15 American light cheap beers would be. Right?
Yeah.
And so I just thought that was interesting. And you know the viewers of the show have their own preferences in beer.
Right.
They liked what they liked because the three of us and then the guys that you've had on
right.
the show liked what you guys
What
liked.
did this guy like, though? I want to know.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I was getting to. So I'm going to start. Should I work my way?
What did he do as the worst? No,
Should I work my way up or
No.
work my way down?
Work your way up. Start with the shittiest. Find the middle of
Yes.
the road,
Okay.
and then find the home run
Okay.
that he thought was the best. These are all light beers.
These are all light, cheap American beers.
and how many are there? 15?
There are 15.
Wow.
All right, get it started.
Okay, so the
Let's
worst.
do the worst two.
Okay, so the worst two beers that he ranked as the cheapest American beers are Natural Ice at number
Hot
15.
damn, hell yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Natty
That's
Ice. Natty Ice.
You're gonna like the next one. Okay, number 14 is Natty Light.
Yeah, so
Natural
What?
Light.
You're having a problem, Natural. Both your beers are at the bottom.
Natty.
Natty
No.
Light.
No,
Natty Light?
Natty
Don't
Light
you
is
say
14.
anything. I've had bad experiences with that beer.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Well,
Okay,
all
so
son.
number
All
thir-
right, son, you can have that.
Okay, number 13 is Bush. Straight
Okay.
Bush, not
Straight
Bush
Bush.
Light,
You
just
know,
straight Bush.
But the thing about Bush is, and I'll say this, it doesn't finish well. Great taste. to
Bush
start.
Light?
Bush Light is different. That's a watered down version, and it kills the watered down version of Bush Light kills the aftertaste. So
Okay.
I can sing with that.
Okay, so number 12 is Rolling Rock.
Okay.
Never had it myself.
Rolling Rock, the strip. I don't think the Rolling Rock Brewery actually even exists anymore. There, you can find it, but I don't think it's made in outside of Pittsburgh anymore in Latrobe. It was brewed and bottled in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. And I used to drink that when I was in college. And your mother,
Like
and
they
I,
weren't gonna
before-
make it anymore?
Before you guys came along, we used to go down and we used to go to a place in where I went to college, and we used to get a bucket of rocks, is what they called it, and it was Rolling Rocks. You got the 6 pony bottles for $4.
All right, keep
So,
going.
Okay.
yeah.
So number 11 is Keystone Light.
Okay.
Okay,
That-
good. It should
I
have been
called
down to-
I
should
called
have-
that retarded Keystone. Retarded Coors Light is what I call it.
All right, keep her going.
Okay,
Yep.
so number 10 is Steel Reserve.
I've never had that.
I've heard it's really strong. So
Okay.
based on what he said, it's like 8 or 9%,
Okay.
Okay.
which is
I've
retarded.
never had it.
Okay.
I've seen it
Okay,
in the
so
stores,
we're into
but
the
I've never
top
drank
10.
it.
So that was number 10. So number 9 is Coors Light.
I can see why people would like it because
Yeah,
it's
that's
abundant. People like it. You know?
Okay, so the middle of the ground, it's 15, but the middle of the ground road, he considered is Bud Light at number
8.
8.
Yeah, but when you look in terms of who drinks it and how many
Oh,
people
absolutely.
drink it,
But he's
it
talking
is
about
the
flavor, consistency, and
It's the king of light beers.
what
so
he
it
called
has-
chuggability.
Oh, and it is definitely.
I'm about to say.
The old man has hammered a few Bud Lights in his day.
All right.
Okay, so number 7 is Miller Lite.
Okay, Bud Light, Miller Light.
It's in the same area. Yeah.
yeah.
He called it more flavorable than Bud Light.
It has a little bit more flavor, but it's
Okay,
genetics.
so number 6 is Sweeter Times.
I've never had it.
Okay.
Sweeter Times.
we
Okay,
got
so
the
number
top
5
five.
is Pabst Blue Ribbon, PBR.
Pabst-Schmear.
Every time I've had Pabst
It's like
Blue
eating
Ribbon,
grass.
I got in trouble. I got in trouble every time I did that. Your grandfather used to drink Pabst Blue Ribbon, and I used to borrow a couple of them, and he'd catch me. Yeah, well, yeah, every time I drank Pabst Blue Ribbon, I got in trouble.
All right,
So,
so-
but it's
Okay.
a great beer. I'm telling you what.
I've had it one time.
No,
and it was
I'm telling you what. You get.
It was there, so I had it.
If I had, I'm telling you, Patrick. If I had a cooler of beer and it was packed in ice, and I said, "Here, drink a Pabst Blue Ribbon," you would be like, "Holy shit, this is really good," and I can drink more of them. But
Okay.
don't get in trouble because
okay.
that's what it leads.
Okay,
to.
so number 4 is regular Budweiser.
Okay.
Okay, I can see that.
All right. Top 3 then.
Okay, so the top 3,
Top
as
3.
this one guy has stated, number 3 is Coors Banquet.
What?
Regular Coors.
Regular Coors Banquet.
I got you.
It's
I got you. It's good.
You're
beer.
gonna
Don't get
disagree
me-
with number 1.
Don't
Guaranteed.
Don't get me wrong. It's not bad. Coors Banquet's not bad at all. I've had a few.
It's not too shabby. It's not too shabby. Okay,
Yeah.
so number 2 is Michelob Ultra.
Oh. I don't
It's
know.
easy, it's
easy.
smooth.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it that high, but I
Number
can see
1's
why.
Old Milwaukee.
Nope.
No.
Okay. Number 1, Miller High Life.
Oh my god.
Oh, I know
just
what I heard.
ruined the
Oh,
whole
I do.
fucking
I
list.
know.
That
as
guy
soon as I
has-
heard
that
that,
guy just took a giant shit right
he
there.
had me on the bottom to natural light and natty ice is gone.
Okay, so his own
Miller Highlight?
So
Miller
his
High
own
Life,
list.
the champagne of beer, bullshit. It tastes like shit. It is terrible beer.
That man never got drunk at parties.
Okay.
He never went
Okay,
to a
but-
college party.
Yeah, absolutely. But I understand that. So my own thinking with the hops was is just like, okay, we have our own personal taste as a group of the beer that as our own
That's what I was thinking about.
we
I
love
went
it.
longer.
I would say we
Did
like
you hear that?
Yes.
I would say
hope the
okay,
fans
so
heard
we
it,
liked
'cause
our
I just farted and it was so loud.
we liked our own beer. We liked what we liked. Now, you guys, I don't have Twitter anymore, but you
Right.
guys pay attention to the Twitter on the Pub QM. And tell us what you guys like personally. What is your favorite beer? What do you guys like to drink? What is
Oh,
that
man.
something that you love to do? This guy had his own opinion. We have our own opinion.
And if you say Miller High Life, Natty Light, or
I would say,
Natural
what do you
Ice,
guys like?
You are not allowed to listen to this show
And
anymore.
it changes. I get that, but what do you guys like to drink? We like what we like. What do you
Yeah.
guys like to drink? It's something different. It's something interesting.
Yeah.
It's something
Hey.
to get you guys involved.
Good hops off the top of your head. That was
Yes,
fantastic.
very good
That
hops.
was very
But
good.
Miller High Life, that
Yeah,
dude
I've
can-
never tried
that
it.
dude can kiss my ass because that's fucking battery acid. That's just it's shit beer.
And that's coming from a beer
And
drinker
he
right there.
didn't- well, one of my things was he didn't have Miller Genuine Draft. There were no
No.
Yinglings in there. The
Oh,
original-
Yuengling, dude.
the-
Yuengling's
the
gotta
ori-
be in there. Yuengling's so good.
the original Yingling Premium that I've turned you guys on to.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's just fantastic beer. I'm thinking about the Old Milwaukee. Oh, see, well, Old Milwaukee fits.
Old Milwaukee is.
Old Milwaukee fits in with a slightly less level than Budweiser. Old Mill Light is a sandwich between Miller Light and Bud Light. There's just so many great beers out of there. The Miller Genuine Draft versus
Fantastic.
Miller High Life. Are you shitting me?
All right. Well, let's
Oh
move
my
on to
God.
the last hops and let's get out of here.
All right. Finish it.
So, as I said, this is a continuation of the first one, but it's not the same type of thing. It's
No snakes?
It's another island or a
What's
place
up with
in the
these freaking
world-
islands? I'm not
or
going
a
to no
place in
freaking
the world
island.
that is completely cut off from human life. You are not allowed to go to this place. It is almost you're allowed to go,
But you don't
but
want to go.
they're saluting you because you will not make it out alive. So off the coast of Burma,
Burma?
is a
Who the fuck's going to Burma?
Island called Ramree Island, and
Ramrod?
this was back at the end of World War II in 1945. Basically, the story goes as this. There was an air base here on that island from the Japanese. The Japanese
Probably
were trying
an
to hold
airstrip.
it. Yeah, airstrip, air base, yep. Where the British were trying to come back and take it from them. The British were trying to take this island back from them because it would allow them to have something in the Pacific. That was basically the gist of it. And so when the attack commenced on the island from the British, the Japanese were on the island. There was 1,000 Japanese men on this island. The British were pushing them back. They were pushing them back. The amount of men left from the battle, as I said, sorry, it wasn't 1,000 men on the island. There were 1,000 men left from the first frontal attack. And so what happened is that the Japanese soldiers were being pushed back, and they had to cross a swamp. What they didn't realize is that this swamp was not only
It had Shrek.
the worst decision they have ever made in their lives, but it was home to a beast that was never seen probably before up until this time. So basically what happened was at nighttime, the British were like, hold on, we're not chasing these Japanese soldiers across this swamp. We're going to hold back, we're going to hold here, and then we'll cross the swamp in the morning. Because this swamp, it's dark at night, we're not crossing this swamp. All of a sudden, the British soldiers hear screams, they hear gunfire, they hear men shouting at the top of their lungs in the swamp. Come to find out that the Japanese men were not only being eaten alive, but this is now in the Guinness Book of World Records as the largest human massacre by animals. They
What
ran
kind
into
of animals?
saltwater crocodiles.
Oh,
and
shit. Those are saltwater crocs are fucking enormous, man. They're giant.
And these beasts were huge, and they are they are dubbed as the biggest animal that could eat humans easily. They are dubbed as one of the animals that could eat humans very easily. And 500 Japanese soldiers lost their lives in a night in that swamp to saltwater crocodiles.
Yeah, saltwater crocs. There are. If you look up saltwater crocs, largest saltwater crocs, there is a picture of one that was killed, and it was put into the back of a dump truck, and that son of a bitch is huge. He's enormous. I can't even tell you how big he is.
Here's
up
a picture
saltwater
for you.
croc. No, look, a saltwater croc in dump truck. So it gives you.
Attacking humans was the first option. It's like, who the frick is looking up that?
There's one in the back.
Here
of
it is. Here's a. Oh my.
I'm not shitting you.
That's called a no.
I'm
That's
done.
called a nope.
Look, blow it up, CJ.
Nope.
See if you can blow it up.
Nope.
I don't think
No, that's a code.
Heck no.
Control
Heck
plus.
no.
Control plus. Keep going. Hold it in, and you can keep tabbing plus. Look how big that fucking thing is.
Look at that dude. That's a full-grown guy.
He could eat two of those.
That's
people.
a no.
He could eat two of those guys.
And basically, like I said,
Look how enormous the freaking head is. Look at the head down here. If that thing bit you, he'd tear off your entire leg. In a second, he would tear your leg off.
and as I said, this island.
I hope he made it.
Right
He
now,
was made into a nice suitcase.
This island right now is off limits because
Yeah.
of the inhabitants of this swamp on Ramree Island is filled with saltwater crocodiles.
Those creatures.
Well, they're the closest living things to a dinosaur. I mean, they're cousins to the dinosaurs. They're just.
So yeah, that's my hops.
There we go.
Both of them.
Okay, so we went from
All right.
killing stuff
Abraham Lincoln
to Abe Lincoln to beer,
Lincoln's hair
back to
beer,
killing
back.
things.
You got to have beer in there.
I would say we've
Back
been
to
all over the
freaking
place.
Saltwater crocs. There's a really good picture of a saltwater croc in the back of a dump truck. That was on a flatbed trailer. There's one in the back of a dump truck, and I can't even. I'll find it and I'll text it to you. It's
That thing was
freaking-
13 feet long. I mean, it was huge.
You wait till you see the picture of the one I have. It's crazy.
But folks, hey,
There we go. Good episode, CJ. I love it.
Thank you guys for joining us. Sorry we were not here last week, but as we did combine everything into this week, we hope to be back next week. But football is around the corner, so
2 weeks away.
2 weeks away. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, we're going to get out of here, though.
I'm
Thank
out.
you all for joining us. Peace out. Love you guys.